So we are back underneath the Freelander, and I'm suspecting we've got some sort of catastrophic damage. It's so major and catastrophic I don't actually know what it is yet, but the noise suggests it's something dreadful, and it's coming from the front diff. So I've got it jacked up in the air, back on axle stands, so I can move the wheels by hand and listen out for noises. Now this is where the noise is coming from. Don't know though. So we've got T25 down in there holding the ABS sensor in, if I can find it there. Then we've got to undo track rod end, and if we can see it, that nut on the bottom ball joint down there. It looks like that looks very non-standard to me. It's kind of welded, and that on the suspension bolt, but it's a 24mm that one. It's not standard, but it's coming loose, so that's fine. And I've got to unclip the ABS sensor cable from there. I've already loosened off this hub nut. Got to try and get the caliper bolts loosened off, and then in here where you got the bearing carrier, I got a feeling it's this bearing in here that's gone, so we've got to undo that carrier. You can just see that bolt there, and the same down. Oh, where's he gone? Down there at the bottom, and then hopefully this whole drive shaft should come out. So we've got this stripped down to this point. Brake caliper's off, disc is off, hub nut is out. Got a classic snapped off ABS sensor in there, absolutely golden. So that'll need to be dealt with. So I think we'll take the whole hub carrier off, and I think I'll kind of take this hub off, but I'm guessing I can put a puller on it, pull it off. Still got to do the what do you call it? Steering rod, track rod arm, and then wherever it is, the lower ball joint nut somewhere in there, and then the two carrier bolts. I'm just undoing these two now, that one there. So I think I get this offset at 13, it'll give me a bit more wiggle room. Top one, can't quite see there, and that's already off. I think that's the bearing carrier, and then this drive shaft should be good to come out. So a bit of progression getting this differential out. We have taken the arch liner out to give a bit more access. There's a crossover pipe from the turbo here through to the intercooler, because underneath that's taken out, so we can get a bit more access in there to the differential. I think first there's a carrier here, this plate, there's a ring of bolts that needs to come out first. That'll allow the diff to come out this way and down. So down here there's a like a mounting bracket with a vibration damper in there. That'll have to be loosened, and then yeah, we can take this plate off here, take it out. There's a ring of bolts around the diff this end, I think, just holding it onto that mount, and then the other end is another 5 bolts need to come out, and we still need to do, you probably can't quite see it from here, but the prop shaft bolt in there. Here guys, that's now the mount off this side. As you can see, we're bolted to here into the side of the diff there. But I won't show you which bolts go where, which ones to undo. I'll show you that on the bench because it'll be far easier. I think we've got 6 left to undo, 13 mils on the other side, one of which is right up the top. See it just there? So you can get to that once you take this mount off, and the other 5 are underneath. And then in theory, there's a breather pipe. Again, let's just see if we can see it. Bear with. Yeah, there's just that breather pipe there, comes round down. So we'll disconnect that. I'm going to leave that bolt in. Sorry, it's not this that one there, is it? That one. There. Is that it? Somewhere there. I'm going to leave that in and then put a jack underneath it because it's quite heavy. So we have the drive shaft out the car. I don't know if you can see all this gunk. I would imagine this should be oil, and that's dried on like dirt. All the way down, even here it's like glazed on grease. So I'm wondering whether the diff has run dry and this is the stuff that's kind of accumulated and now it's knackered. I thought it might be this bearing, but there's no noise coming from that at all. It's just like a carrier bearing, nothing coming from either CV joint. The hub that came off, the bearing's absolutely fine and there's no noise. So I think yeah, we are going to have to take the front diff off and have a look at that. So this is the bracket we've just taken off. I should show you off the car. This is where it has that sort of intermediate bearing on the half shaft coming through, and then this is where the engine mount bolts to. So what you've got in total is a 13mm at the top, there's a 17mm, and it's got another 13 that goes on top of it. That's where one of the brackets bolts onto. Trio of 13mm across here, 2 13mm going into the side of the diff. This is a 17mm, again it's got another thread and there's a bracket on there, 17mm, that goes into the side of the diff. And then you've got the bolt that goes through to hold the engine mount in place, and that's all that's holding that onto the back of the engine and then onto the diff, onto the engine mount. So yeah, hopefully that's a bit clearer here on the bench. So I'm just cleaning up this hub because I think I was good with it, and I've got to try and get, where's it gone? The ABS sensor out of there. Not sure I'm doing that yet, but I've got distracted and I'm trying to get these old brake backing plate nuts off. They're looking pretty bad condition. So what I've done, I've ground this one back, and then I'm just going to put a nut on the top, weld it on, and then see if I can undo it with that. I've seen other people do this, so fingers crossed. So this time we put a bigger nut on, put a washer on underneath so that the weld doesn't stick to the head, and let that cool down a bit so you get a bigger weld pool in there, hopefully. Yes. Ah, fuck, that's hot. Jesus Christ. think the chances are this one coming out. Give it a lucky squirt plus gas as well. Drop the spanner. Oh, that's hot. Oh, you animal. Thought I was getting some of that done. Man, this is impossible. Right, try. Yeah, we're going to be third time lucky on this one. Oh no. I don't quite know what's going on there. That's a bit of the brake backing plate underneath. Oh, last one. Not bad. Everything you take off, either put it back if you can where it came from, or pop it in a bag. So we got wishbone bolts, top shaft, and all the fixings really much. The next job we have to do is a ring of 6 Torx bits on here. So the E10s. So to loosen all those, and I think the prop shaft will just slide back enough so that then we can take the diff out of the way. So yeah, fingers crossed they're not too tight, but we'll see now. So that's it. That's the 6 bolts of the prop, all undone. Yeah, and then it just pulls nicely out of the way. So we've unbolted the diff, just sliding it across now to drop it out. Got it on the jacks, it's quite heavy. I did wonder before I started whether or not you'd lose some gearbox oil when you do this, and it turns out you do, so it's worth having catch pan in place, get ready. And that'll need topping up obviously now when we're finished. And there it is guys, success. Front differential out of the car. Did just hear a bit of a grinding noise. I was hoping I'd hear a bit more than that. Okay, we're going to do a test. My theory is this unit ran out of oil, and that's what all this like dried on, caked on crud is in there. It should have oil in, but it's kind of gone thick. So if I undo this, this is the filler and drain plug, if I can. I'll turn that right way. Yeah, it should go this way. If I undo this, there should be no oil coming out if my theory is correct. Jesus Christ, that's tight. Right, just loosened it with a breaker bar. So now, should be able to see if any oil comes out. Oh shit, okay, so there was some in there. So it's a few days later. As you can see, the shiny new diff has arrived. I say new, reconditioned. It's got a lot of Chinese writing on it. Don't know if that's good or bad, we'll find out. But yeah, all done here just for comparison. Should have 700 mils of, I think it's a Castrol Syntax 75 WAPI oil in there. There's the filler plug there. I haven't got that, and it's now Sunday and I can't get it until Monday. So I'm going to put it back on, leave it as it is, and then pick it up tomorrow. And it takes about 700 mil to fill it. I had a look. This is I had ordered. This is the new sleeve that goes between this. So this is the PTU, they call this, power transfer unit, I think. And these tend to wear, but actually, looking at the splines, I've given it a bit of a clean up. When you put it in, there's zero play in that. So I had ordered one, so I've just cancelled that order for that. So hopefully that one will be fine. So yeah, this is a reconditioned diff. So I don't know what quality it is or anything, but If it works better than this one, then great. So guys, that's the PTU back in. I didn't feel much of it because it's really quite awkward. It's about 10 to 15 kilos, I think. And it's got to kind of lift up through this gap here, so I use the jack to support it. And then you've got to get the splines aligned into the gearbox and put it in, and then there's 7 supports. I can't really see, and there's one on top there to do back up. The breather, can't forget the breather pipe, so you can see that. Oh, you can't see it on the top there as well. Now we've got the prop shaft to couple back up, and then we've got to put this bracket back in here that supports this side of the PTU. So I found the problem with why the prop shaft won't go back into the coupling there is because this engine mount here is not connected. The whole engine's kind of moved that way, so I push on it, I'll push it back. So what I've cut off one of the exhaust mounts. I'm going to put in a piece of timber in there just to hold it off that cross member and push the engine back so I can get the prop shaft lined up. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's these 4 bolts and the 2 the other side loosened. The exhaust rubber here is connected to that same bracket, and there's no plain exhaust, so I get to use my new exhaust rubber removal tool and take that off. So I had to cut off this exhaust mount. It's where it got jammed, the prop shaft got jammed. The only way to do it was to cut that off, so I'm just cleaning it up now so I can go back on the car and weld it back on. So just getting the welder set up now so we can reattach that exhaust bracket under the car. We're just bolting this bracket back on that holds the other side of the PTU. There's a number of bolts, 2 there, 2 at the top, 3 across the middle, and this one down here. And this one and this one, oh that one, have it's a 17mm with extra threads on there because there's other brackets and holders that those have to support. Once this is done, we've got the crossover pipe for the turbo going over to the intercooler to put back on. And now I have to rebuild the wishbone. So we just got this prop shaft bolt. Is it going to focus? You can just see on the end there the threads of damage. Just an M8 tap and tidy that up. Focus, hopefully. Yeah, just tidy them up. So I'm making some great progress. We've now got the drive shaft back, or prop, what's it called? Half shaft back in. Got the carrier for that bearing back in here. That's all tucked up. I've cable tied these, I think the fuel lines back in because they were all loose. So now we've got the hub that's been all cleaned up. A new ABS sensor to go back in, so I have to get rid of this old one up here. It's a bit dark, sorry. So I can do that. Get rid of that one. Put the head back on, and then new wishbone I think last. I'll see if that's the right way to do it. I think let's get it now. Just like up onto there and get the pinch bolt back in the back. So we've got the new ABS sensor plugged back in, routed through there, compressor cell clip down and into there. So as we've gone to the effort of reviving the hub's new ABS sensor, putting on the new brake back plates where they didn't exist before, had to put new drop links in, new track cord end, and then also the wishbone, all the bushings and ball joint was shot on those, so opted just to replace a lot. So this wishbone was actually removed much earlier in the process, but I didn't show it at the time. But it actually makes much more sense now because we'll be refitting the new ones. In theory, this wishbone should just come out. Okay. And I can actually get to parts of this subframe and clean that up and put a bit of stone chip on there as well. All this under seal off. So it's time to drop the new wishbones on. There's the old one. This bush at the back I'm pretty sure is shot. That one there I'm sure is, and this one definitely is. Big tear inside of it. So yeah, new one. I got these as a set, so there's another one in there as well. I'm just surprised, I know these came with these caps on. They seem to have cheaped out and not supplied the nut for the lower ball joint. So unfortunately I'm going to have to reuse the old one. No, I found another, that was the old one, but it doesn't have the nylock still in there, so I found another one that will fit. But I'll have to go on with some thread lock for now. So sorry for the poor light guys. Wishbone is now in. I'll move this actually, that might be a bit better. So the wishbone's in. It was a bit of a nightmare. These haven't been tightened up yet. And he's doing. I've just been getting this bolt in here. That was a pig. So the only way to do it in the end is to use a ratchet strap to pull it back into the car, and then a bottle jack under there to lift it up so it's level, so it kind of slides in there enough. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. The ABS sensors back in. Everything else is bolted up. It's been raining off and on all day. It's just a nightmare. But yes, it is progress. Old and new track rod ends side by side. This one's completely gubbed. This actually came off surprisingly easily. So 28.5 turns, and we'll pop that one back on. I don't know if this boot was damaged before, but it definitely got damaged in taking it off. So yeah, new pair of these. It's now fresh new brake back plates on. Didn't have them on before. New drop links. Everything's nipped up here. Topped up with fluid on the PTU, topped up with fluid on the gearbox. So we gotta get the wheel arch liner back in, get the brakes put back together, wheel on, and then see where we go. A little bit of an update. And you can see this pissing out brake fluid out the caliper. Also, where's it gone? The brake pipe in there, sheared off. Absolute win. All because I left this bolt here, and it's meant that when I put my foot on the brake to start the car, that's gone that way, and it's the piston has all gone on the piss. Up here now, other end of the brake pipe is sheared. I have managed to get this one loosened off. So go pull this out now and then get a new flexi hose, new caliper, and then put this back together. So a new caliper arrived along with the new flexi hoses. Here's just a shot of them side by side with the old caliper. You can see the pistons come out of the old one and gone on the piss. This is just prior to refit. So it's about 6 o'clock in the evening. It's pitch black, but I'm out here putting this new caliper on. I don't even, is that right? Doesn't feel quite right. Maybe I've done something wrong there. Oh, I haven't got the clamp on here. Okay, that's next. And then new brake hose up to here and back onto the hard brake line there. That's it guys, ready to go. New brake caliper, brake hose, ABS sensor, hub all tidied up, new track rod end, new wishbone, new drop link. So I think that's pretty much everything. So we've still got to do the other side, but at least we can move it now. So with all this put back together, I naively thought that that was it and this car was done with me. But the eagle-eyed viewers amongst you will have spotted a problem. I'll give you a clue. It's related to the power steering system. It was just sat there waiting for this car to go back on the road, and within a week it struck and was disabled the car again and meant a whole load more work. And here it is, right under my nose the whole time. There's no wonder this pipe split within a week ago back on the road. I mean, look at the state of it. But what's embarrassing, it was right in front of my eyes the whole time, but I was so distracted with all the other work, I either didn't spot it or just didn't think it was going to be an issue. But I should have known. So guys, this is what we're left with. I don't know if you can see, there's like an oily tinge absolutely everywhere. All glistening in there. Oh. Yeah, it's flipping. Power steering fluid. Literally everywhere. I think the next thing might be to take this wheel arch liner out. Okay, I think it might be the tiniest bit of good news. I thought it was the steering rack, but if you can just see that pipe there, it's obviously corroded really badly. You see that one? But just underneath, I can't really get the camera to it. There's a little dripper. I'm not going to be able to show you it, but I think basically that pipe there is split underneath, which is should be no surprise given when you look at the state of that there. It's pretty crusty. So whereas I thought it might have been steering rack, I don't think it is. I think it's these pipes here, which is kind of good news. So now I'm just going to figure out how to replace those. I apologise for the poor lighting. So you can't get these little knuckles here to come off, and I don't know if you can see the little Torx bit in there, that's rounded as well. So I think I'm going to have to start cutting into these and then take them off piece by piece. So guys, we just cut both of these off here. That one there, I'm hoping there's these little spring clips in there, and I can actually pull that old pipe out the end of there. And this one here, this is the rusted one, so that connects all the way back up to the top to the fluid tank. And then I can start hacking at these pipes in here until I can get to that back one. But I'm just going to see if I can pull on that with a pliers and see if that'll come out. So we're back on with the Freelander. This is the old power steering pipe. This is the one I believe has failed. It came off in the end in a number of bits, so I had to cut lots of it off. This is a new one over here, nice and shiny, no rust. So we'll get this one fitted now this morning. I've gone for a replacement of that as well, because this one joins onto the other one on the other pipe. It's all rusted, so let's just do the whole thing. So much for being easy. That was a bit of a nightmare trying to get all this sorting up. Oh, I can't even see it, it's so tight. You've got the sway bar in the way, you've got fuel lines in the way, and then trying to wrap these round and get those lined up and then in the right place, and then these on. In the end I had to take the feed for the turbo off. I'll show you at the top now. So this had to come out. Lucky I did, because where the new hose, you can't even see it, bolts in, just where that silver bracket is there. The timing case was missing a bolt and that was rattling around, so that's now solid. Got this one back in as well, and then just got my fuel lines tucked back onto here, so that's all done. There's a new hose coming out the pump, the high pressure side. What I don't have is the correct power steering fluid, because there's a specific one for this rack, otherwise you'll end up with wear on the steering rack. So I've just ordered 2 litres of that, and yeah, we'll bleed it up soon as it arrives. So our power steering fluid has arrived. It's a specific Land Rover fluid, apparently. It's going to be this green fluid, not any old fluid, because the gears in the steering box, or steering rack rather, this is what they need, so I'm told. There's the part number, if you can read that one there. And I'm told, or read from empty, we're going to need about 2 litres to top this up. So let's crack on with this.